Welcome back, Board Game Crusaders. Today we're going to be taking a look at Siege, which is a very fun castle crashing game of mayhem. No, I usually don't do too many review things, at least I try not to. It's kind of hard sometimes. But this game, since it's not really being mass produced right now, you have to find it on GameCrafter, which I'll include the link on the bottom. But again, since there's not much on this game, I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more of a review-intensive thing here, along with the rules. So bear with me here, but it's a fun game, very fast-paced, and I know you'll enjoy it. So check out thegamecrafter.com to find this gem. Not only do the components in this game have very whimsical art, but instructions on every single card that makes them easy to use and clear to follow. So this game is quite simple to play and very fun, as I've probably said and will say many times coming through this tutorial. But this is the castle wall. At the beginning of the game, you deal out 7 of these in front of you in a row, indicating your defenses, also how many cards you can have. You can never have more cards in your hand than you have castle walls in a good healthy position. If your castle wall gets destroyed or damaged, you flip it over, indicating that it is no longer protecting you. This is what you want to see in front of your enemies, not in front of you. I love the little lizard guy that was sitting right here, and then boom, right there. Pretty cool. And next, we have the enhancement card. The enhancement card is indicated by the green mark in the corner. Most of the card's outline is very similar to this. It will tell you the name of the card right there, the type of the card right there, the ability right there, with a quick reference right there once you're familiar with the game. So that's the way most of the cards will be outlined. Use that as a reference. These enhancement cards are played in front of yourself as a defense to help you protect your walls. They have different abilities that will accomplish this for you. Incidentally, they also stay in play until they're removed or destroyed. This would be the garrison, indicated by the blue marker here. Garrison cards also remain in front of your walls to keep you protected. With the garrison and the enhancement cards, you can only have one of each card's name in front of you at any given time. That's not to say the enemies can't have them. They're not that unique, but as far as your castle wall is concerned, you may only have one of these named cards at a time, with the exception of the knights and the archers, which it indicates on the bottom you can have more than one, and how their defenses can stack and help you out. Next is the special, indicated by the yellow. These ones are good for getting rid of the enhancement and garrison cards that your enemy has. When you play one of these, you get to choose which affected card is removed from your enemy, as well as which enemy if you're playing more than 2 players. Next is the supplies. The supplies, or not the supplies, excuse me, the defense, which is indicated by the red. Defense will have supplies, which will let you draw 2 cards. It will also have bricks and mortar to help you defend and repair your walls. Not so much defend, but repair. And then we have the attack cards. The attack cards are outlined a little bit differently from the other cards because they have this roll value right here. When you're playing an attack card, you roll 2 six-sided dice and resolve it as outlined on the bottom here. Typically giving you some sort of advantage, sometimes greater than others depending on what you roll. The death mechanic is very intriguing in this game. There are 2 of these death cards. If you're playing more than 2 players, then if you ever get eliminated prematurely, rather than sitting and twiddling your thumbs, your turn will consist of rolling 2 dice and then playing as follows. And you can choose who you want these abilities to affect. So you can take an active role in helping your friend or causing general chaos, whichever you prefer. And the last card type is the reference, or quick cheat sheet as I like to call them. This goes over everything that I just went over, and this goes over everything that I am yet to go over. But look at how simple this game is. That is it. Everything you need to know can be found on the front and the back of a playing card. So, great fun, really simple. Let's get into it. To play the game, you need to set up by putting the draw deck in a central location as well as the dice. And then each player, 2 to 4 players, will set up a wall of 7 cards, as I've already indicated. And then you deal out 7 cards to each player. Before game proceeds, everybody looks at their 7 cards. If they have any enhancements or garrisons, they can place those in play. Remembering again that only one of each name can appear in front of you, unless it's a knight or an archer. And now we're ready to play the game. Starting with the person with the least experience. The first step is to draw 2 cards. Add those to your hand. And then play your hand. Quite simple. So in this hand, I can play these 2 cards that I drew to help ward off the bad guys. And play any attack cards, play anything that you want that applies, following the rules on the bottom of the card. So I'm going to go over a quick attack scenario with, let's just say, well, looking at my hand, you see I have multiple attack cards. That means I can attack one person twice, or I can attack 2 people. I can do the same with these as applicable to help defeat these handy little blockers that the opponent may have before I do my attacks. But for the sake of the demonstration, let's pretend like this is no longer my wall. That's my enemy's wall. And I choose to attack my enemy with the ballista here. So, I announce my target, I play my card, and then I roll 2 dice. And then follow these instructions. Really straightforward. So I roll my 2 dice. Let's see, I got an 8. So looking at my card, I got a 4+. I didn't quite muster the 9, so that means I get to remove 1 garrison card from the target. So I didn't do any damage to the wall, but I still got to remove a garrison. And since I am the attacker, I get to choose which garrison gets to be removed. And I really don't like this engineer, so let's say I say you need to discard your engineer. After you've played all the cards that you want to play, you go to your discard stage. Your discard stage is when you discard your hand down to as many healthy walls as you have. So in this case, I can have 7 cards, 6 cards, 5 cards, 4 cards, 3 cards, and so on. In this case, I can only hold 3, but I have 4. So I would just choose one. Oh, let's say this. Nobody else has anything this will impact yet, so I choose to discard that. Keep the remaining 3. And then turn passes. Winning the game is defeating somebody's, well, be the last person standing. So you are the only person that either has yourself surviving or has walls left. After you've defeated an enemy's 7 walls, you then make an attack against them that succeeds to win the game. Now, you may ask yourself at this point, well, if I have no walls, what can I do for my hand? How can I defend myself? Well, you can still have these in front of you, and if you'll recall at the beginning of your turn, you always draw 2 new cards. So, essentially at the beginning of every turn, you're going to have 2 fresh cards to kind of give you some hope. Hope that you draw some of these, perhaps, so you can repair your walls, or something to really just slay your opponent before they slay you. We already went over the death mechanic if you die, so we'll leave that alone. But if you come to a point where you've drawn the very last card, let's say the draw deck is depleted. Oh no! What you do is you just take the top card from your discard pile, set it aside, shuffle the rest together, and that forms your new draw deck and your new discard pile. So the game draw deck will never truly be completely depleted because you always cycle back through it. That's that. Simple, straightforward, very fun. I have never found a group of people, gamers, non-gamers, that did not like this game. It is quite fun, and like I said, check out the Game Crafter. Hopefully we'll see this one on Kickstarter or something soon, but for now you can only get it at thegamecrafter.com. Link will be provided below. I recommend picking this one up. I know this isn't typically a review site, but again, you're not going to find much information on this since it's not widely produced. So get the game, play it, and have fun.